My name is Jennifer Schuett. I'm a survivor of a violent crime and victim advocate.
Certainly, the case of Jennifer Schuett, a tale of resilience, determination, and justice.
I went to sleep in my mother's bed as I usually would have. The next thing I remember was waking up in the arms of a man that I didn't know. He was running with me, carrying me down the sidewalk.
In the quiet town of Dickinson, Texas, in the late summer of 1990, a heinous crime shook the community to its core. The case of Jennifer Schuett is not just a story of survival and resilience, but also a testament to the restless pursuit of justice.
And he calmed me down by telling me he was an undercover police officer. He placed me in his vehicle and we started to drive through town, passing my grandparents' house and ending up in the parking lot of my elementary school.
It all began on August 10, 1990, when Jennifer Schuett, an 8-year-old girl with bright blue eyes and a radiant smile, went missing.
So we were there in the parking lot. He offered me candy, which I refused.
She had been playing in her front yard like any other child her age would, but that fateful evening would change her life forever. A predator, lurking in the shadows, snatched Jennifer, leaving her family and the entire community in a state of shock and despair.
He started up his vehicle about 5 minutes after he told me that, but it seemed like it was forever.
Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with no sign of Jennifer.
I was a very curious 8-year-old little girl and would ask a lot of questions. So I started to ask him, well, if you're a police officer, where's your gun? Where's your badge? Prove this to me.
Law enforcement, community members, and her family were all left in the dark. The case seemed unsolvable and hope was dwindling. But Jennifer's mother, Janet, refused to give up. She dedicated her life to finding her daughter, believing that she was still out there, waiting to be rescued.
For Jennifer, there was no sign of her, she was just gone.
At one point, he told me that his gun was in the back seat. So I stood up on the front bucket seat of the car to look into the back. And whenever I did that, to try to see where his gun was located, he ripped my panties off of me. He then laid me down in the front seat of the vehicle, climbed on top of me, and started to lick me all over my body.
The breakthrough in the case nearly came 19 years later. In 2009, DNA evidence collected from the crime scene and preserved for years was matched to a man named Dennis Earl Bradford. Bradford had been in prison for another crime, but was soon facing charges in connection with Jennifer's abduction and assault.
After this point are times where I black out from him either choking me or trying to break my neck. The next thing I remember was waking up and him dragging me behind him through this field by my ankles. And then he held a knife to my throat and said, "Am I scaring you, little girl? Am I scaring you?" And then he choked me as hard as he could. I blacked out for a while.
As the details of Jennifer's harrowing ordeal began to emerge, it became evident that she had endured unimaginable suffering during her captivity. She had been held against her will, brutally assaulted, and left for dead.
So I could feel like sticks poking me in the back, thorns, but I just stayed silent and played dead at one point, not even realizing that during one of those times that I had blacked out, he had actually slit my throat from ear to ear.
But her indomitable spirit and will to survive had prevailed. Jennifer's story of survival was nothing short of extraordinary.
He laid me in a fire ant pile soon after that and then left. We can only estimate it was about 12 to 14 hours after the attack occurred. I was found by a group of children playing tag in this field and was life-flighted to John Sealy Hospital, which is part of the University of Texas Medical Branch on Galveston Island. And I stayed there for 2 weeks being treated for a lacerated throat and trachea.
The trial that followed was a testament to Jennifer's courage and determination to see her abductor brought to justice.
I remember writing down that there were beer cans in the car and the brand of cigarettes that he had, everything that I thought would help in finding him. While in the hospital, doctors said that I would never be able to speak again due to the damage that was done to my throat. And just being determined and, passionate and wanting this person caught, I believe I was given my voice back for a reason.
She faced her attacker in court, reliving the horrors of her abduction, and testified against him. Her bravery and resilience in the face of her tormentor were awe-inspiring.
Journey, I've had two main goals, and they were to find the man who kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and attempted to murder me 19 years ago so that he could not hurt anyone else, and to use my voice in telling my story to as many people as I possibly could in hopes that I may encourage other victims of violent crime.
Dennis Earl Bradford was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Justice had been served, but the scars of the past could never be fully erased.
From an 8-year-old little girl who thought she could sing like Mariah Carey to being silenced, it was really devastating and frustrating.
Jennifer's story served as a powerful reminder of the importance of perseverance, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. In the years that followed, Jennifer Schuett became an advocate for victims of abduction and sexual assault. Her story inspired countless others to find hope and healing in the face of unimaginable trauma. The case of Jennifer Schuett stands as a testament to the power of the human spirit. It is a story of survival, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. Jennifer's strength and determination serve as a beacon of hope for survivors everywhere, showing that even in the darkest of times, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
You ever heard the name Jennifer Schuett? Yes. Do you ever have occasion come in contact with her? Yes. Tell me about that. No.